Hello, welcome to a new episode of. Excuse me, I'm so used to saying Baldur's Gate 3 still. Nope, this isn't that. This is Wrath of the Righteous. Welcome. I'm Serial, your Let's Player. How are you today? I'm doing good myself, so. Uh. It's been 24 hours since I last played, so, I'm ready to go ahead and get into it. Let's just go on in.
Open your heart to me. I am helpful, am I not?
Man, I don't know what to make of Camilla. She's kind of off-putting.
Does anyone require my counsel?
That voice does not fit this portrait, but I'm gonna live with it. Oh, hi there, big spider.
Rely on me.
I don't think I've seen exactly who's all what. Um, Character. So I know Sela's a paladin. She's an iconic. I think they still even use her in second edition Pathfinder. Although much of the iconics have probably changed a lot since I played a lot of Pathfinder. But yeah, I think she's still one of the main ones. Alright, she's a spirit hunter? What the hell is that? Oh, it's a shaman. Okay. Strange. Okay. I've only made one shaman in my time playing first edition Pathfinder, and I didn't find the class too interesting. It was different. It's like if you combined aspects of an oracle with the hex mechanics of a witch, which it seems like that's the case here. Well, she's got some subclass things going on. So, okay, feet. Yeah, she's I'm not sure what to make of her, but okay, she's got a high dex, so what is land? Oh my god. He's automatically broken. Let me explain. So, Zen Archer is one of those archetypes for the monk that can literally take over a game and even maybe potentially solo a lot of encounters if you play your cards right or build correctly. Um, he's automatically going to be a core member of this team. I can't like. How can you not? If you have a Zen Archer in the party, how can you not use it? Like, I'm just gonna stack nothing but wisdom. Because at some point, like, I've not personally played as an archer, but I've seen quite a few of them. And I just know how quickly they can dominate. If you've never played one before, do so at your own risk. They can take over a game pretty quickly. You might get a lot of GM aggro for that. And Windog is a straight up fighter with a bow. Okay. So, I don't know about Camilla yet. I don't know if I want to keep him around or not. But we have a lot of wisdom in this party. Well, even Sela's got a 13. Yeah, well, that's still good, but she's a paladin, so I'm gonna keep her. She's got to be the party tank for a while, and I got to be the support. Although I'm a Crusader cleric, so I'm probably gonna mix it up too at some point. Uh, Wow, that dude's gonna be amazing. I can't believe they went with that. I really can't. I'm beside myself. That's a mistake. It's a mistake in that they allowed Zen Archer, but subsequently decided to cut Holy Vindicator's PRC from Kingmaker in from going into Wrath of the Righteous, which okay, fair, but
No reason to pause.
it doesn't make sense when you allow a Zen Archer.
Into the fray.
Practice my combat abilities.
Okay. Young Giants.
Wide open.
She stabbed it for 2. So, unlike 5th edition, you don't necessarily get dex to damage. All melee attacks get strength regardless, unless you build for it, like usually through feats. Or there's a weapon enchantment, I think it's called Agile, if my memory serves correctly. Which is well, getting into weapon enchantments is another thing entirely. Oh, wow. So see, like, that spider needs to crit on a D20 just to even have a chance. Point blank shot, huh? So clicking that will automatically turn that on. There's no reason why you shouldn't have that always on if you have that feat. Bat. Alright.
I'll just have to resort to brute force.
Crunch. Aw, I didn't kill it. But anyway, as the game progresses, you'll see how incredible land will progress. Already, he can fire 2 shots at level 1, which is insane.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
So another rule that just happened. Whenever you take an action to full attack, or even just single attack, really, you can still technically move, although albeit at a 5-foot step when you take a full attack action. There is some wonkiness that doesn't translate well in this format, but you just deal with it.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
So that explains why Sela's still able to get all her movement, even though she made an attack action. But when her base attack bonus climbs high enough to where she could take more than 1 attack per round, you'll have an option either attacking once and still moving your full movement. You can do that. Or you take your full attack action and it can only take a 5-foot step as a free action with that attack. You can't really use your action to move beyond normal. At least that's per tabletop Pathfinder 1st edition rules. Ow.
The spirits demand your blood. You are today's sacrifice.
Alright. Windog's got some mobility.
They'll beg me to stop.
Okay. Admittedly, that was much easier with 5
Bright future
characters.
awaits.
Hey, I'm not complaining. Or 6, Anivia didn't even act. the region can be used to brew potions, caustic mold, fairy mushroom. What the fuck? Okay. Oh, excuse me. It is kind of late for me right now. So I apologize if I'm yawning and subsequently making you yawn as well. I tend to be contagious.
Do not fear. Do not waver.
Oh, wow. Like, I know we're level 1, but I feel like somebody really should have called an exterminator here.
Go for their hearts!
No glory without risk.
So it comes to this.
Crack. So I'm doing good damage with that mace. I don't have a base attack bonus yet as a cleric. I won't get one until first level. Or second level. Or third level. No, it's second level, I think. Right? Shit. I'm forgetting shit.
You won't survive.
No, I think it's second level.
I'll rip you apart!
I'll cut you wide open!
Into the fray.
You made your choice.
I am so glad Sela has a high AC.
Endure this.
Nice.
Make every strike count.
The spirits demand your blood.
The light take you.
Man, we're cleaning up. Okay, well this is pretty much explaining how, you know, attack, damage, and AC just works, which I pretty much just did. No worries. Oh, I see loot. Oh, that's a lot of gold.
Keep your calm.
Oh man.
It has passed.
More spiders.
They'll beg me to stop!
Spread out.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
I think I want to choose to delay after Sela. Because if I run in there with if I run in there, I'm gonna get bit all the shit with a 15 AC. Well, maybe not, but it wouldn't be tactically sound.
Sacrifice.
Here they come. Okay, so more spiders.
The inheritor, guide my blade.
Okay, well, now that's resolved. Bonk. Crunch.
I'll rip you apart!
Full attack land.
You won't survive me.
Between 2 shots, he just did 12 damage. And it's only gonna snowball from there. Like the amount of... Oh my goodness. I'll let it go. I know, I keep talking about it.
Go for their hearts.
Into the fray.
Now, what is that?
Comma, a pearl... Master Greatsword. Nice. So shared stash is exactly what that is. It's with, you know, shared with everybody. And this is how much theoretically we could carry as a group. Yeah, it's one of those things I kind of like the loot system a little bit better in this game. Because it's still the same loot system in Kingmaker than I do for Baldur's Gate. What's this? Windog glances at Lan, who is fixing his slipped bowstring, and quickly walks over to you, her cat-like glow from beneath her hood. Listen here, you. I don't know who you are or where you come from, but you and I are the only two people here who see things clearly, if I could just speak it. That's why I'm asking you, don't show the light of heaven to Soul. I thought you considered the mongrels to be great warriors. The descendants of great warriors. I believe that my people are worthy of greatness and that we are strong and can do many things. That's why we were chased down here. We're sacred people. Or scared. But it's one thing to go hunting in the caves and another find in a shield maze. Windog leaks closer, your pupils dilating. I've been there. I've spent my whole life training so I could make it through all the way to the end. There were more of us trackers at the start. We were young and stupid. What's a couple monsters when there's a whole world out there waiting for us? That's what we thought, but we weren't prepared. The maze isn't just a physical challenge, it's a cunning and full of traps. It's dark as primordial night, and if you close your eyes and listen, you can hear whispers right behind you and soft singing in the distance that seems to rise and fall with the beating of your heart. I do want to, but I'm not going to risk the future of the tribe for the sake of a few stupid kids. Chief Saul is hesitant, and for good reason. He also understands how dangerous this is for the tribe. Lan, the only one who benefits from these childish gauge of heroism. I'll go alone if I have to and find them or whatever's left of them, without any heroics, relying only on myself, risking only my own life. Windog slows. You and your friends, you can come with me. Perhaps we can make it to the end of the maze together to find a way out of the surface. I'll think about it. Let's go. Alright. To Netherholm. Oh, might want to back up a little bit. Can I? Yeah. So I like that old mapping system right here. I can open the map, and I can even actually, like, place markers and interact with it and move the camera around. Inflict light wounds. Okay. The problem of doing that is if you happen to find something along the way and you aren't following the party, you won't really get any notifications because you can't hear the group speak. Your eyes, as an omnipotent person watching this whole event unfold, won't be able to hear it. That's a common problem I remember with Kingmaker. You have nothing to feed you, go to one of the other tribes. I don't. Has the maze really collapsed?
To success.
Oh. Your first impression of the mongrel village is of a squalid dump with the odors to match. Unblinking, glowing eyes watch you from the gloom, and deformed shadows slope between the huts. You see some mongrels gutting white, eyeless fish, while others are preparing fishing nets. All the signs of normal village life, but tense expectation hangs in the air. Chisel, a heavy-set aged mongrel, slowly shuffles his way towards you. The hair on his head grows in limp, wispy strands, and his face has a distinctive rat-like appearance with pronounced teeth, and you hear rattling and the sound in his chest with every breath he takes. One of his eyes is white, fully scarred by cataracts, while the other gleams with moisture. Uplanders, eh? In times are upon us indeed. Chief Soul, we found the angel's sword, and we found the one who can wield it. Land points to you. He had a vision, and now the angel's sword, together with the light of heaven, are somehow inside him. Gather the tribe. Anyone who can hold a weapon. The young ones are still alive. We can go save them. Soul raises his hand with ragged, broken fingernails. Ah, land, always dreaming, always talking. You are too hasty for your own good. It's going to get you in trouble. I almost need a... I should feel like I have a rat nose. Soul lights... Oh my goodness. Soul eyes you up and down. An uplander with the light of heaven. That's too good for us. Our kind don't have good things happen. And there's always a catch. Lan trusts the people because he likes to believe. Isn't that right, Lan? I'm the chief. I don't work on faith. Show the light. Okay. Windog stares at you intently, like a cat watching a bird, and shakes her head in warning. Dialogue options restricted by mythic paths. Throughout the game, you'll encounter occasional options marked by associated with a specific mythic path. These are dialogue branches that embody the spirit of particular manifestations of mythic powers. In the early stages of the game, these options must be selected in order to gain the opportunity to set out on the corresponding mythic path. Once your mythic path is set, unique alternatives inaccessible to other mythic paths will become available to you. Okay. I'm not sure what these mythic paths are that they're talking about. I know they're very different than what Paizo designed, which, if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like is absolute piles of garbage. And I say that with respect, but it was not well thought out. Well, I am a lawful individual. The heavenly flame flares to life at your unspoken command, bright, pure, dancing with multicolored sparks like a sunbeam passing through stained glass. The mongrels abandon their task and stare, transfixed. The light is bright, but not blinding. It is warm, but its warmth is soul deep. Soul is silent for a while. Tears are streaming down his wide, pale face, but the old man doesn't even care to wipe them away. So it's true, the angel did not forsake us, no. He came, back from the dead he came to save our children. Land gives you a nod of thanks. The scaled half of his face is indifferent, but the human half is visibly relieved, as if he wasn't sure all this time you would support him. Okay. Windog hisses at you like an angry cat. See these fishermen and these hunters, these husks of men and women, their blood will be on your hands. Yeah, I'm not responsible for others' decisions. Windog snarls in fury. And why are they making these decisions? Because of you. You sealed their fate. You're a murderer. I don't like you already. You always think the worst, Windu. We're not on our own in this anymore. We've got allies. Well, a couple at least. But one's a good fighter worth 10 bad... But one good fighter's worth 10 bad ones. Yeah. Soul speaks again. You have the right of it, Lan. But we're neithers. We're going to wait. A Shinta messenger to summon all of the tribes. It will take time, yes, but they will all come. They will all come for the light. Wait, Lan. Wait, uplanders. Rest a while in one of our hush. Our home is your home. Lan sighs. All right, Chief. Understood. Let's hope that in a few hours there's the difference between life and death for those kids. If they ask me what has took us so long, I'll tell them it was your decision. Windog only grits her teeth in silence. Oh, we got a level. Memorizing spells. Journal, spellbook. Alright, so preparing spells. Spells that are highlighted in yellow for clerics are domain spells. And you can have them prepared pretty much for free in your domain slot. Now, if you have more than one domain, you're going to have more of these highlighted, but it's neither here nor there. Now, being a full cleric in Pathfinder, you don't always need to have a cure spell prepared. There's no healing word here, unfortunately, so as useful as that spell is, and as much as I wish it was still around in this, but we don't have that. So, ideally, clerics can sacrifice their prepared spells at any time to cast a healing spell. It's usually cure wounds or a level appropriate. And it progresses from there. So it's generally the best of plans to prepare like buff spells or remedy spells and not prepare cure spells because for the simple fact you could sacrifice them at any time to cast a cure spell. So the only time you don't want to do stuff like that is like say for instance I can sacrifice any spell to heal people, but I can't do that for inflicting damage on people, like inflict like wounds. Inversely, if I was a negative energy charge cleric, I could do this with inflict light wounds for every spell slot I have, but I would then have to prepare cure light wounds, if that makes any sense. Um, Cantrips, you don't have to prepare. You can access every cantrip in the game, I believe. Yeah. Um, yeah. You prepare any number of these. They are not expended. They're typically little tricks. They don't really do a whole lot of stuff, and they don't scale in Pathfinder. So, particularly like this one, Divine Sap, it does like a D3 point of damage, which is really just a half of a D6. You're not gonna use that beyond like second level. Third at the latest. Alright. So, unlike 5th edition, paladins don't actually get spellcasting until they hit 4th level, and it's at a much slower progression. Now, shamans are full casters. Their spellcasting is a little bit different, so it works in the same way that they kind of have druidic spells mixed in with witch spells. So that's what makes the shaman class kind of interesting. If you have prior experience either playing a druid or a witch in Pathfinder, or really just either one, um, you should find some commonality and familiarity here. Although I must admit, the druid in Pathfinder is not my exact cup of tea. Not that it's bad. It's far from it. It's a pretty good class, but it's just it just doesn't appeal to me like it does in 5th edition. So can't cast spells because they're fighter and monk respectively. Sela can't cast yet, but she will soon enough. Okay. So I will go ahead and level up. And this is where you can multi-class too. So we're working towards ultimately going Holy Vindicator. And we've already got 2 of the prerequisites of the 4 met. And now it's just a matter of getting enough levels. See, I can't skip perception. It's just really good. It was so good as a skill that they decided for 2nd edition to base your entire initiative around it. It's kind of a weird thing, but alright. Paladin is a class that's generally pretty good throughout the game. I think, well, my personal opinion, like for just a pure martial class, it's probably the best one you can be. With it, well, and it does have a splash spell casting in it, but even if you decide to take that away and compare it to, say, a cavalier or a fighter, the paladin itself is just going to outshine it weirdly, despite the fighter having access to a lot of feats. So, being human, she gets a free skill rank every level just for that. See, she also gets a couple ranks, so just from class. So, 'cause I don't think she has a high intelligence. Like, what was it? Like at least like a 12. Anyway, she has an interesting choice of skill sets. So second level for paladin, you get divine grace at second level, which versus fifth edition you would get this at sixth. Um, so that is huge. I mean, a lot of times that's worth a 2 level dip into a paladin class just to get that. You also still get lay on hands at second level, which is still not any different. What it does though is a little different. So you can use it as a standard action to heal an ally with it, or you can use it as a swift action, or in this case would be a bonus action in fifth edition. I had to think terms here to heal yourself, and it's not just a static pool they can use. It's actually just d6s, and you get a number of uses per day. So in Pathfinder, you can heal yourself technically for a lot more. But, hers is pretty simple. Nothing special going on there. Now this one's gonna kind of mess with me a little bit because I don't really know the shaman class that well. Much less her even choice of subclass. Her trickery is through the roof. She was rocking a plus 12 at level 1. So, 1 rank, a plus 4 from Dex, class skills, so that makes it 8. Competence as a courtier, whatever, I don't know. So, 9, and then she has skill focus into it, probably because she's half elf. So skill focus is a feat. That's insane. So Hex is an interesting ability. It's one of those things you can use infinitely, technically speaking. Although there is limitations on how it works. So each hex, depending on what you pick, can be a buff or debuff. Generally speaking, it's a standard action to do. It doesn't provoke, and it doesn't really count as being counterable by anti-magic or things to that effect, because it's a supernatural ability. And there's a whole breakdown of spell-like and supernatural and extraordinary abilities, and yeah, it's complicated. I mean, if you wanted to look it up, Google it. I just don't want to get into it. It's one of those things that about Pathfinder as a whole that even I don't remember every little detail, but I know what to do if I have a question about it and where to look. So, one mana magic feat, so some sort of secret. Okay. See, I don't even know what exactly I should be thinking of taking. Battle Ward? Okay. Alright, so this one basically counters status effects. Shaken is a concerning one. Because it's a -2 to pretty much life. And it gets worse. It's basically a fear effect. Uh, Same with fatigue and into exhaustion. Sickened is also pretty bad too. Although I think it's a little bit more manageable. Shaken can be a bit um, defeating. Ward, huh? Okay. Slumber Hex. That's really strong. I remember that being really strong. Same with Misfortune. Evil Eye is another bread and butter one, I remember. Because even if they save against it, it still affects the penalty from it still affects them for a round. So I'm going to take Slumber Hex because that can lock down like that can lock down the strongest enemy of a group if it lands. The bad news is if they save against it, they can't be targeted again for a day. Which, you know, if you're already fighting it, this game is going to force you to resolve that before you can actually do it again. Alright. Well, that's a lot to cover just for the shaman. I'm going to get to you in a minute, because monks are a beast in and of themselves. Fighters are pretty simple, though. This one's an archer build. So, click this, get a look at the progression we've gotten so far. So we've gotten point blank shots, which we need to go ahead and get. I think it's precise shot. Or unless she's already got it, because she does. It's the first level feat. And this, if you're going to make an archer build, you absolutely have to have. Well, sometimes you can get around not having the point blank shot, but it's prerequisite to get precise shot, which you absolutely must have this. Otherwise, you're taking penalties for firing into a crowd. Like I said earlier, Pathfinder is a very crunchy and real world mimicking rule set. There's a lot to take in. So if you happen to have not played this yourself, or whatever the case may be, and are watching me play through it, I hope you learn a little bit about Pathfinder. So, at least first edition, anyway. All right, so weapon focus is generally not terrible. It's also a prerequisite for a lot of different feats. Rapid shot's pretty good. So basically, when you make a full attack action, all your shots take a -2, but you get to fire another arrow at your highest BAB. And this is probably where the recommendations start to dwindle down. Yeah. There is usually a lot of feats to choose from with Pathfinder. I'm not going to read every single one, otherwise I'll probably add another 50 minutes to this video if I'm guessing. That's probably a little bit much, but definitely another 30. I'm just going to go with weapon focused longbow. Alright. Now, monks. Goodness. Monks can be interesting, although they do have a bit of a challenge curve to building them properly. But the funny thing is about being a Zen archer, it's all the greatness of being a monk, but instead of having to be up in melee, you can be safely at range and still be good at melee. It's pretty amazing. So at first level, you get combat reflexes for free as a bonus feat, which that gives you more attacks of opportunity based on your dexterity modifier. Normally, you only get one opportunity attack around. Excuse me. Like I said, it's getting a little late. So you do get your wisdom bonus to AC. It also applies against touch attacks and nifty stuff. So you do get to do unarmed strike. That damage itself scales as you level in the class. And this stuff here, beyond down here, is basically the Zen Archer subclass, or the archetype. They call everything archetypes and stuff like this in Pathfinder. You do get proficiencies with bows. You can take flurry of blows when you make a full attack action, which is why I'm getting an extra shot. And then I gain weapon focus with a feat as a bonus feat with one type of bow, either longbow or short bow. I mean, should always take a longbow to that. And another Zen Archer bonus feat. Jeez. Yeah, so Flurry of Blows and Rapid Shot, I think, stack. And also, you do get 4 skill ranks a level minus your plus or minus your intelligence modifier, whether or not it's a positive or negative number. So, if it's negative, it's going to take away from your overall pool. That's the problem with dumping ability scores, particularly intelligence, anyway. Alright, so we get to choose a Zen Archer bonus feat. We've got Precise Shot, which we don't have, do we? No, we don't. So we gotta take that. Way of the Bow, we'll get Weapon Focus. Longbow? Okay. Interesting. So yeah, second level is chock full of good. Basically just getting... Let's see. Way of the Longbow. Yeah, basically getting 1, 2, 3 feats for free just for hitting the second level. That's insane. And let me just arrange the party here. I think I would actually prefer to be like this. Maybe. No, I'm going to put Lan in the back. When we get 6 characters, I might change this array again. Well, I will end up having to change this array again. There's no limit on morality, so I don't think this game recognizes when you're stealing or not. At least I don't think that was the case for Kingmaker.
I will guide.
At this point, I think it's been a couple years since I've played that game, so... Oh, who's this? Finally, someone from the surface. I was beginning to lose hope. Oh, Burgess Worm. An elderly man in expensive, not ostentatious clothes approaches you. His face is peppered with several healed cuts and bruises and twisted in an expression of extreme discontent. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Horgus Worm. Yes, that Worm. You no doubt have heard of me if you spent any time at all in the city. I have a business proposition for you. Your name tells me nothing. Who are you? You truly are freshly arrived in the city, then. You couldn't have picked a worse time, that's for certain. Only just arrived and the city's been razed to rubble. You should know that you are looking at one of the richest and most distinguished men in Kenebras. I may not have well known, but I'm certainly swaggering llamas who spent their lives trapeziing from one ball to the next. But the Worm Trading Company is one of the pillars in the city, I'll have you know. Did you see the marquees in the square? I paid for those. Tried any festival delicacies? You have Horgus Worm to thank for that. Alright. Well, how did you end up here? For a moment, Horgus's eyes focus on Camellia before his gaze returns to you. Like everyone else, down I went with that accursed beetle cleave the ground in twain beneath our feet. I'm lucky I didn't break my neck in the fall. I'm doubly lucky that I didn't encounter any subterranean cockroaches on my blind wanderings and instead came across hunters from this settlement. Although I must say that when I first glimpsed their physiognomies, my life flashed before my very eyes. But they turned out to be decent chaps. Frightening to look at, but able to keep a bargain. Okay. Well, what kind of business proposition? I don't know what is happening on the surface right now, but I am determined to find out. I have no intention of seeking out the rest of... You have no intention of seeing out the rest of your days in the village, I suspect. We must find a route back to the surface and to the city if there's anything left of it. I'm a moderately pious man, and I don't mind relying on the help of a person who has the favor of the gods, especially with so many demons lurking about. You are strong. It will be no trouble for you, but alas, I am not fit as I once was. I can't go crawling through caves playing at scouts. My proposition is simple. Lead me back to the city, and I shall pay you 1,000 gold coins. I suggest we help this man. It is good to have friends among Kenebras' elite. Oh. Abadar teaches that undercharging for services is wrong and will help at the cost of 2,000. That is such an Abadar line to say. Abadar, you say? Well, the price is high, but fair. Fine. Let it be 2,000. Alright, deal. Splendid. That's pretty cool. I got a specific dialogue for that, and I got around having to make a skill check. Splendid. In the meantime, I shall sit here in the village. Alright, we have to go. Go on, go on. Don't forget our agreement, and when you find a way out, be sure to tell me. Rest in the hut. Okay. Is it a Pizza Hut? Am I going to get outed by the Pizza Hut? Yes, I agree. That was terrible. Even I'm cringing.
Focus on the goal.
Oh, I think it's over there. Is there a shop somewhere?
Watch out for trouble.
Oh, there's Anivia. Alright, so he's berating Anivia. Who's the Eagle Watch, I think it was. Eagle Watch member. Brilliant idea. How did I didn't think of it now? If only the cultists would tell me they were cultists, then we wouldn't have to waste our time investigating honest citizens who decided to go all cloak and dagger right under their noses. How's the leg? Well, it hasn't fallen off yet, so that's good. They've bandaged me up and all nice and smeared some stinking stuff on the wound. So it looks like I'm gonna live. They said wait a day and it'll be right as rain, so I'm waiting. What do you think of the mongrels? I thought they were just a story, the sort of thing drunks in towers would come out with, but now I discovered that it's true. Well, what can I possibly think of them? The poor creatures are most unfortunate with their faces and their minds so deformed. It's a miracle they're even alive. Part that boggles my mind is that they're descendants of the first Crusaders. All these years they've been living beneath our feet in caves in the dirt. If we'd known the legends about them were true, I'd have dedicated my life to getting them out of this place. To what end? The people of Kenebras would have stoned them on sight, and prelate Huron would have had them tossed on the pyre en masse. What are the ills of this place? It is their home. How long do you think they would be survived on the surface? Whole run Shapok, Kenebras' famed prelate. Okay. She first gained trusted admiration by of the city and its people by organizing inquisitions against suspected demon worshippers and witches. Wow. Okay. There's more to it than that, but I don't think I want to read it. Alright, well, I guess Anivia's gonna hang out here. Ooh, first aid kit. Just take it all.
Keep your calm.
Mutated fish? What the
There are many roads to success.
So I'm checking Fog of War to see where I haven't been. I need to find a hut. What am I missing? Oh, it's a vendor. Who are you? Dyra. The people around here call me all sorts. Dyra the hoarder, Dyra the coin, Dyra the city girl. Like that's a bad thing. I troll the caves, picking up all kinds of things from the surface that wash down here through your sewers. I trade all kinds of junk for food and clothes, but only part of my best finds for coins. Got no coins? Forget what money is? Well, then I have no use for you. If you want city goods, you need to pay for them with gold. Like city folk. Alright. Let's trade. Why not? Oh, okay. Gotta get used to Pathfinder prices, which is typically much higher. But unlike 5th edition, you can rack up all the gold in the world, and it still may not be enough. There's always going to be use for coin. Some of this stuff is ingredients that you can use later on, but I never really cared for that sort of thing. Ooh, a masterwork dagger. Okay. So we got bracers. That's kind of worth a good bit of money. That'd be really good for land. At least for like fighting demons anyway. So that's another difference you might discover between Pathfinder First Edition and 5th Edition D&D. It's far more common to see weapons and armor made of special materials that have adverse effects or perks, depending on what they do or what the material is made of. Okay, so I wouldn't mind getting some potions. Cold Iron Masterwork Great Axe. Typically, when an item is made of a special material like cold iron, at least in tabletop Pathfinder, it's automatically considered to be a masterwork item. Which gives you a +1 bonus to hit, mechanically speaking, but not to damage. You have to have an item enchanted for the extra damage benefit. Alright, we can deal with that. Yeah, unlike Baldur's Gate 3, there's no limit to the amount of gold merchants have. They have an infinite amount that you can get if you have enough to sell. Alright, I think we're done with this guy.
I'm guide.
Oh, cool, I can rest. Alright. The messenger returned. The tribes are gathered at the entrance to the maze. Our people are already gone there. I've warned Anivia that the old guy won't even acknowledge me. Take your time. There's no rush. The most important people always show up late. Lan looks around. Everything is going to plan, but one thing's bothering me. Windog's gone. Oh, it's highlighted, and so mousing over says you told the truth that the Mongol tribe revealed the light of the heaven despite Windog's attempt to persuade you otherwise. All the tribes? So a whole army is marching on the maze then? By mongrel standards, yes, but don't be too disappointed when you see the reality. There aren't many of us who can hold a weapon, and fewer still who can do damage with one. What do you think happened to Windog? I don't know. She was always stubborn. Maybe she decided she couldn't do it all on her own. I hope she comes back. We'll struggle without her, and she'll struggle without us, no matter how hard she'll try to deny it. What about Nivea and Horgus? Once we've cleared the maze, the way ahead will be safe. And Nivea is in no state to fight, and that Horgus guy, he doesn't look like he'll be much of a, if anything, unless we roll out the red carpet on the way to the exit. Yeah. Still sure about this maze? There was another passage, the one I used when my dad, when we left and then came back. The chief back then, he found it and filled it in to stop anyone else from going against the ancestors' wishes. And what the ancestors wanted was for everyone to go through the maze. I'm not sure of anything right now, but we don't have a choice. We can only go forward. That seems narrow-sighted, but okay. There were other passages, but they were far from here, and with all these earthquakes, who knows what condition they're in now. So our best bet is the maze. If it doesn't lead anywhere, then we could consider our next move. Let's go, then. Let's go, but before we do, thank you. I was so happy I forgot to thank you before, and you've done something no one else has done in a long time. You've given the mongrels hope. It's like we're starting to believe that we're worth something, now that we have the power of the angels on our side. Land's face grows sullen. It won't change anything, of course, but at least you've helped us save the young ones, hopefully. Let's go through the main gate. Now, the straight road is the shortest. Alright, I guess we're going into our first dungeon at 2nd level. And on that, I think it might be a good place to stop, because I'm botching dialogue and I'm getting sleepy. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.